If we have superficial, then it needs to get superficial to it. Now moving to the muscles of the hand. So what muscles of the hand do we have? We have superficial regular muscles and we have deep muscles. So the superficial muscles would be the thenar eminence and the hypothenar eminence. So the thenar is taking care of, or it's made by the muscles that supply the thumb. And the hypothenar, hypo, it's smaller, so because this is for the little finger, so it's gonna be muscles for the little finger. So what kind of muscles do you expect to see here? I expect to see the muscle that abducts, the muscle that flexes. All right, so I have abductor pollicis brevis, because remember you guys, we had abductor pollicis longus, and we will have flexor pollicis brevis because we had flexor pollicis longus. All right, so we will have abductor pollicis longus, brevis, and flexor pollicis brevis. All right, so these two muscles, and here I can see part of the opponens pollicis. So remember guys, you have abductor on the top of your thenar eminence, you have flexor, which is on the side, and deep to them you have the opponens pollicis. This is the opponens pollicis. It's deep to them. I need to cut them off in order to be able to see the opponens. All right, so these are the thenar eminence. What is the innervation? Very simple. I have my M letter, so median nerve. All right, now what about the hypothenar? The hypothenar, the same thing. We have abductor digiti minimi. We have we have the flexor digiti minimi here, and then the abductor is lateral there. So abductor digiti minimi, and the flexor here on top, and then the abductor is lateral, okay, on the side, and deep to them you have the opponens digiti minimi. Okay, so abductor, it wants to move the little finger away, so definitely this is the abductor digiti minimi, and the one on the top here is the flexor, because this one needs to flex. However, it wasn't true for the thumb. Okay, so for the thumb we had this, the abductor, and this was the flexor. Okay, let's get back to this. So what you have on top here is the abductor, and what you have here is the flexor pollicis brevis. We have brevis because we had longus. Now for the digiti minimi, here, okay, you have the flexor here and the abductor digiti minimi here, and the opponens is deep to them. Now what are the muscles that supply the hypothenar? It's very easy. This is U letter, so it's ulnar nerve. Okay, if we are superficial, we are following the rule M median and laterally, and ulnar medially toward the ulna for the muscles near to my body. All right, and then lumbricals also is supposed to be one of the kind of superficial structures. It's not a deep. All right, so that's why I want to mention it here. Lumbricals, you guys, it's a muscle that takes its origin from the tendons of flexor digitorum profundus. So can you guys see this muscle? All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you see all the lumbricals here? The 4 lumbricals, 1, 2, 3, 4. But if we want to count, we should count lateral to medial anyway. So these are the lumbricals. They come out of the flexor digitorum profundus, and these muscles will also follow the rule. If this is M and this is U, then we need to count lateral to medial. We have number 1 here, 2, 3, 4, because we're talking about digitorum, we're not talking about the pollicis, okay? So number 1 and 2 are supplied by median nerve, and 3 and 4 supplied by ulnar nerve. We are following the same rule. Now what about the deep muscles? All deep muscles of the hand, guys, are supplied by ulnar nerve only. Ulnar nerve is a very deep nerve. It supplies deep muscles. So what are these muscles? Let me just tell you one of them here. For the flexor, you guys, for the flexor pollicis brevis, okay, flexor pollicis brevis, it has 2 heads. It has superficial head and it has a deep head. It has superficial head and another deep head. The other deep head takes double innervation. It takes from median and also ulnar because it's a deep head. What else? You guys remember we didn't have interossei for the thumb. It has its own adductor. So if this is your thumb and these are your fingers, you have a muscle that is running horizontally and one running obliquely. We call them horizontal head and oblique head here. This is oblique head and this is horizontal head of adductor pollicis. These muscles are going to do adduction for the thumb. These are deep muscles. So although they are on the side of M letter, they are supplied by ulnar nerve. Okay? And what else? The interossei. All the muscles between the bones, they are deep muscles and they will be supplied by ulnar nerve. So, a take-home message, everything is supplied by ulnar nerve except the superficial muscles that are near to the thumb. Okay, what are these? The thenar eminence, this is median, all right, except the one that has double innervation, and two lumbricals, and plus two lumbricals. Okay, everything else is gonna be ulnar nerve, all right? Now, what are the deep muscles we have? We have the dorsal and palmar interossei. Now, let's understand the idea of dorsal and palmar. The dorsal and interossei, guys, they do abduction, okay? DB, abduction, the opposite. So because they do abduction, it makes sense that these muscles are bipinnate. It means the tendon is here, and then the fleshy fibers are running obliquely. It looks like a feather. So we call it bipinnate, as if I have one feather and another feather. So it makes sense that I have a tendon here and two sides of fleshy fibers because I want to do abduction, I want to push away. So dorsal interossei, you will find them filling in the bones of your metacarpals. You guys can see that they are filling in the metacarpals, and you will have 4 of them because you need to have one between this and this, one between this and this, one between this and this, and one between this and that. And this way you will have them abducting your fingers, all right? So you will have them for all the fingers, abduction, dorsal interossei supplied by ulnar nerve. And this is how they look on a cadaver. Now what about the palmar? Now for the palmar, guys, the palmar is B and it does adduction. It's the opposite, okay? Now you guys, your middle finger is already in adducted position. We don't have a muscle that causes adduction to the middle finger. It's already adducted. Now I want to have muscles to move my fingers, and remember, pollicis is always out of the rules because it has its own muscles. Although they are writing here, we have first palmar interossei, but this one, it's not in all people. It's a muscle that you don't find it in many of the population. So forget about this. Now we have one. Remember, we had 4 here because we have 4 fingers and we want to abduct them, and pollicis is out. Now here, the middle finger does not need adduction. It's already in adduction. So we will have only 3 palmar interossei. Okay, so this is one, and this is one. Okay, it's unipinnate. Okay, it's gonna move, and it makes sense also that it's unipinnate because it moves me toward the middle finger. All right. So remember, we have 4 dorsal and only 3 palmar interossei. Okay. Now we're gonna move on to the spaces of the hand. We have hand spaces. These spaces are very important for the spread of infection or space occupying lesions.